The wait is strong, finally over. After 7 long years, Star Wars is back on the big screen. This is It's My YouTube, and today we're breaking down everything you missed in the latest Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. We're talking Sigourney Weaver's mysterious Colonel Ward, the return of Zeb, and that massive Rotta the Hutt reveal. Is the New Republic actually the villain here? And what does Pedro Pascal being unmasked mean for the future of the Creed? Buckle up, because we're jumping into hyperspace. Let's get into it. The Mandalorian and Grogu, also known as Strong Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu, is an upcoming American film directed by Jon Favreau and co-written by Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Noah Claw. Produced by Lucasfilm and set to be distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is part of the Star Wars franchise and a continuation of the Disney Plus television series The Mandalorian, 2019 to 2023. Pedro Pascal stars as Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, alongside Sigourney Weaver and Jeremy Allen White. In the film, Djarin and his apprentice Grogu are enlisted by the New Republic following the fall of the Galactic Empire, during a period where remaining Imperial warlords threaten the galaxy. Favreau and Filoni wrote a 4th season of The Mandalorian by February 2023, but production was delayed by the 2023 Hollywood labor disputes. During this time, Lucasfilm re-evaluated their plans for the franchise and decided to prioritize a Mandalorian film over the 4th season. The Mandalorian and Grogu was announced in January 2024, with Favreau directing and co-writing with Filoni and Claw, and Pascal reprising his role from the series. Filming began in California by August 2024, and was completed by that December. Further casting was revealed around and after filming, including the return of various characters from The Mandalorian and other Star Wars media. Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. A Mandalorian and veteran bounty hunter in the outer reaches of the galaxy. Pascal portrays the character whose face is often hidden by a helmet, with Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder. He said the film was the start of a new chapter after the end of The Mandalorian's 3rd season, 2023, which saw Djarin agree to work for the New Republic. Pascal said this gave the character a chance to combine his bounty hunter skills with doing what he knows is right, by working for the good guys. After the 3rd season showed Djarin paying penance for removing his helmet, which goes against the Mandalorian creed, the film unmasks the character again. Director Jon Favreau said they did not make this decision lightly, and were balancing the established story with their wish to show more of Pascal's face. Pascal felt the unmasking was justified in the film. Grogu, the Mandalorian's ward, who is an infant of the same species as Yoda. Grogu is created with animatronics and puppetry, augmented with visual effects. Producer Kathleen Kennedy said the character was a perfect example of a character that has to emote, and you have to feel connected to them without hearing them speak. Sigourney Weaver as Ward, a colonel and leader of the New Republic's Adelphi Rangers, who previously served as a pilot for the Rebel Alliance. Jeremy Allen White as Rotta the Hutt, the son of deceased crime lord Jabba the Hutt. White provides the voice for Rotta, speaking in Galactic Basic, represented by English and Huttese. He took inspiration from Jabba's voice in previous Star Wars media. Unlike previous Hutts, Rotta is a physical threat who participates in gladiator-style fights. Favreau compared him to Adonis Creed from the Creed films, saying both characters live in the shadow of their famous fathers. Additionally, reprising their roles from previous Star Wars media are Johnny Coyne as the leader of a faction of Galactic Empire remnants, co-writer Dave Filoni as New Republic X-Wing pilot Trapper Wolf, and Steve Blum as the voice of New Republic pilot Garazeb Zeb Orelios. Other returning Star Wars characters include Jabba the Hutt's twin cousins, Kuzo bounty hunter Embo, and members of the Anselm species. Martin Scorsese provides the voice of an Ardenian shopkeeper. The Mandalorian and Grogu is scheduled to be released in the United States on May 22, 2026. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. The evil empire has fallen, and Imperial warlords remain scattered throughout the galaxy. As the fledgling New Republic works to protect everything the rebellion fought for, they have enlisted the help of legendary Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal, and his young apprentice Grogu. See it only in theaters and IMAX, May 22nd, 2026. Director Jon Favreau had pitched an idea for a Star Wars television series featuring Mandalorians to Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy in 2017. Dave Filoni, an executive producer on the animated series Star Wars The Clone Wars, 2008 to 2020, and Star Wars Rebels, 2014 to 2018, was also conceiving a Mandalorian-focused series, and Kennedy suggested they work together. This led to the creation of The Mandalorian, the first live-action Star Wars television series, which debuted with the launch of the streaming service Disney Plus in November 2019. Shortly after the premiere, Walt Disney Studios' Chief Creative Officer, CCO, Alan F. Horn, said a film featuring the titular bounty hunter Din Djarin could be developed if the series was a success. The next month, Favreau said there was an opportunity to explore the series' characters in Star Wars films or spin-off television series. The Mandalorian's bounty at the start of the series is the child, colloquially known as Baby Yoda by viewers, who is an infant of the same species as Yoda. The character is created with animatronics and puppetry, augmented with visual effects. He becomes the Mandalorian's ward, and is revealed in the second season to be named Grogu. In September 2020, The Mandalorian co-star Giancarlo Esposito said the second season lays the groundwork for the depth and breadth that's going to come in Season 3 and Season 4. The next month, Favreau and star Pedro Pascal said they were open to The Mandalorian appearing in a Star Wars film, but Favreau was in no rush to do this. Favreau began writing the fourth season by late May 2022, and completed the scripts with Filoni by February 2023. Filming for the season was scheduled to begin that September, but this was delayed by the 2023 Hollywood labor disputes. In November, Filoni revealed that he was now the CCO at Lucasfilm, and would be directly involved in the planning of future films and series. While production on the fourth season was delayed by the labor disputes, Lucasfilm re-evaluated their plans for the franchise, and decided to prioritize a Mandalorian film instead. The studio announced the film, titled The Mandalorian and Grogu, in January 2024. Favreau was set to direct, co-write with Filoni, and produce with Kennedy, Filoni, and Ian Bryce. Noah Claw also contributed to the script, after co-writing the spin-off series The Book of Boba Fett, 2021-2022, and an episode of The Mandalorian with Favreau. Filming was expected to begin in June 2024, making it the first Star Wars film to move forward since Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, 2019, ended the main Skywalker saga film series. Pascal celebrated the film's announcement by sharing concept art for it on Instagram. He was expected to reprise his role as the voice of the Mandalorian, but it was unclear whether he would be physically portraying the character, whose face is generally hidden with a helmet, and some questioned whether his busy schedule had room for the production. It was unclear at the time of the film's announcement whether the fourth season would still be made, because there was potential for future Mandalorian stories to instead be told through film sequels, if the first film was a success. Favreau later said he still had all the scripts for the fourth season, and the film had become more of its own thing, due to the changes needed to fit a film structure, rather than that of a weekly television series. James Whitbrook at Gizmodo said the existence of scripts for a fourth season did not mean one would be made, and if the season did get made, it was unclear whether rewrites would be necessary to work around the film. During an earnings call in February 2024, Disney CEO Bob Iger said the film would likely be released in 2026, and would start a new slate of Star Wars films. Explaining the decision to move forward with The Mandalorian and Grogu as the next Star Wars film, Kennedy said they had built an audience for the film through the success of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, and she believed young audiences would consider the film to be their Star Wars, and not feel pressure to watch the entire franchise to see this entry. Filoni, who later replaced Kennedy as co-CEO of Lucasfilm, said The Mandalorian and Grogu did not have the same pressure as Star Wars The Force Awakens, 2015, which was similarly the first Star Wars film in years, because it was not the start of a new trilogy or introducing new characters. He described the film as a big celebration of the title characters. Also in February 2024, California allocated the production $21,755,000 in tax credits from the state's Filming Tax Incentive Program, one of the biggest allocations in the program's history. The film was expected to be entirely produced in the state, a first for a Star Wars theatrical film, and would generate over $166 million in qualified expenditures and below-the-line wages there. In April, Disney scheduled the film for release on May 22, 2026, filling the May 2026 date that the studio previously reserved for an untitled Star Wars film. Sigourney Weaver was in talks to join the cast a month later. Production designers Din Djarin and Andrew L. Jones returned from The Mandalorian and its spin-offs, while costume designer Mary Zophres reunited with Favreau after working on his film Iron Man 2, 2010. Principal photography was scheduled to begin in June 2024 in California, under the working title Thunder Alley, and was expected to last for 92 days. The film had approximately 54 cast members, 3,500 background extras, and 500 crew members. David Klein returned as cinematographer from the third season of The Mandalorian, and Filoni directed the second unit. Favreau and Filoni said in early August that filming had begun several weeks earlier. At that time, the character Garazeb Zeb Aurelios from Rebels was revealed to be appearing, along with the Anzellan species from The Rise of Skywalker, after both appeared in The Mandalorian's third season. A new version of the Razor Crest, the Mandalorian's ship that was destroyed in the second season, was also set to appear. Weaver confirmed her casting at the end of August. Favreau and Filoni said the action, spectacle, and practical effects would be expanded from the series, but they felt the characters connecting with audiences was more important. Filming wrapped by the start of December. Rachel Goodlett Katz edited the film after working on the third season of The Mandalorian. In mid-December 2024, Johnny Coyne was revealed to be reprising his role as an Imperial warlord from the third season of The Mandalorian. By then, Jeremy Allen White was cast to provide the voice of Rotta the Hutt, a character first introduced in the animated film Star Wars: The Clone Wars from 2008. At Star Wars Celebration Japan in April 2025, Weaver was revealed to be portraying New Republic Colonel Ward, while Filoni was revealed to be reprising his role as New Republic pilot Trapper Wolf from The Mandalorian. The film's official trailer, released in February 2026, confirmed that Steve Blum was reprising his role as the voice of Zeb. Martin Scorsese was providing the voice of an Ardenian shopkeeper. The Clone Wars character Embo would appear, and Jabba the Hutt's twin cousins from the Book of Boba Fett would also be returning. Tippett Studio provided stop-motion animation for the film. The Mandalorian and Grogu is scheduled to be released in the United States on May 22, 2026. The film is expected to be released in IMAX. The galaxy is changing, and so is this channel. If you want to stay ahead of every Imperial warlord and secret cameo before the May 22nd premiere, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button and join the squad. I want to hear from you. Do you think the villain problem the critics are talking about is actually a massive twist? Drop your theories below. This is It's My YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one. This is the way.